My first 3 or 4 months on the job, he accidentally resigned over email. he had someone else on his staff had resigned, and he forwarded part of the email without making it with his own introduction, without making it clear where his words ended and his staff's words began. So we had a good laugh about that the next day. My first 6 months or so on the job, I was in a meeting where we were talking about the possibility of, we were sort of debating whether or not we should have a youth services staff development day. And he looked up and he said, well, if we skip the youth services staff development day, then how can we make sure that there's really a QCH way? And that to me really sort of symbolized something that always made me really happy to be working with Steve, is his commitment to excellence in our work, and to the idea that we have a way of doing things.
I was a 9th grader, and Steve, it was his first year as our homeroom teacher. And we were supposed to be in this specialized class, and we gave him hell. I remember him wearing this brown leather vest. He came in, and it was just who is this person? And he was new to the neighborhood as well as new to the school. And I just remember that, I don't know, for some reason he just brought out this I would just scream and then knock his books down in the hallway. It was very strange that Steve would bring that kind of emotion from me as a 9th grader. In my yearbook, he wrote down, "It was good to know you, and you were a scream." So, coming to the community house as a social work intern, lo and behold, there's Steve Pullano. First as a teacher, and then as a street outreach worker. As an intern, I got to know what street outreach was, where he expressed the philosophy of going to the hotspots, connecting with young people with where they were, engaging in them with activities that was of interest. And I was like, yes, that's great. So as a social work intern, these were things that we just didn't learn about. And so he really embodied that philosophy and helping me to understand, in terms of outreach and how we reach the young people. And then later on, getting to know him as supervisor when I came on board, and helping me to grow, listening to me, and when I cry, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. No, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. He was always about what is good for the young people, what is good for the young people here, what is going to get them to continue coming to our programs.
On September 11th, 2001, right? We had the tragic events happen, and my first instinct was to call Mr. Pullano, because that's who I'm going to call if I don't know what to do or what I need to do. So it's a very serious moment, and Mr. Pullano told me I need to barricade myself in the closet and don't come out until he calls me back. He didn't call me back. Think about what it means to change the life of one person. What kind of an impact you've had on just one person. It's, as an individual, how you would feel is phenomenal. And then what you've done for that person, you change the trajectory of their life forever. And then whatever happens with them, they're changing that trajectory for other people. Now, what if it was 10 people? What if it was 20? What if it was 100? What if it was 1,000? What if it was 10,000? Because that's what we're really talking about here. We're talking about decades of service to the community and young people, and not just young people, but the staff. Myself, Alina, Tabitha, Sean, Jen, where's Pemba? The after-school staff with Melissa. I mean, there's hundreds of us whose lives he impacted and changed. And then we've gone on and impacted other lives. Think about that number. If we're talking about 10,000 with Steve, which it could be more. I was thinking, what kind of a gift can I get for Steve? Or, I didn't know what everybody here was doing. And I just realized to myself, no matter what gift we get for him, it compares nothing to the gift that he's gotten for all of us. So, and I've said it a million times, he knows, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I would not be here today without that man. would not have my daughter without that man and my family. And I'm just one of thousands of people that can say that. So thank you, sir. Best of luck.
I've been here over 35 years. I'm going to bring you back to the beginning of your 35 years. You were doing outreach in the community, and I was one of your outreaches. I had to go to the local parks in the area with board games, so the children in the park had games to play with. The outreach part was letting the parents know that the Forest Hills Community House, at that time we were known as Forest Hills Community House, had the after-school program here, and that was the outreach that we were doing. We've both seen ourselves through health, sickness, but not wealth over the 35 years. I heard going through the grapevines that you were going to go fishing. I just want you to know that if you ever catch a big mouth bass, think of me. I know Stephanie thinks I have a big mouth. I have one more song for you, Steve, and that's Hit the Road Jack. But my ending would be, come on back, Steve. You've been missed.
You may be gone physically, but your spirit will always be here. We'll always be hearing you. We'll always be talking about you. We'll always be remembering you. And most of all, we'll always be loving you.
Steve, we used to play basketball together, and Steve was like a brother from another mother. The stuff that I also got stubbies too. And I had hair, and also too. But Steve, his heart and soul is this place. And like Mike said, so many kids respect him. I'll see you, and wish you all the best.
Also, I can piggyback and account for what Mike was saying too in regards to the countless lives that she's impacted with the Hotspots program. I know firsthand so many people from Left Rack City, Rego Park, Corona, that you really saved their lives, that they could have went down the wrong path, but through the program that you were provided and offering to them, they were able to turn their lives around. So I want to thank you on behalf of them, and also thank you. It's been a pleasure to be with you throughout these last 22 years that I've been working with you.
His guidance, his support, his examples of leadership, those are all things that I will cherish. The one thing I think I may not cherish as much was when we were out sick and he would nickname us. So I was Typhoid Tabitha. We had Malaria Mike, Mono Mark, Sean's I really can't say. And we're going to find a nickname for Pemba, maybe Pink Eyed Pemba. Keep the tradition going. But seriously, his work and actually his love for our youth makes me realize that it takes one person who really cares. And I've got really big shoes to fill. But knowing Steve made such a big difference in my life. Thank you.
I had prepared some remarks for this evening. I've been carrying him around for the last 2 weeks. But I may have changed pants. Oh, here it is. No, this is my request from Ben for a pay increase. Too late for that? I signed it. When I first started here, I came in and out of the building like a ghost. I would come in, go to the bathroom, change my clothes, come back out in outreach gear, and go into the streets. The adults would look at me, and every day they'd say, "Who are you? Do you belong here?" Besides the adults, there was a young person who would see me in the bathroom changing clothes, and he would watch me as I went in and came out. He finally turned around to me one day and he said, "Are you Superman?" And I thought to myself, this is the kind of place I can work for. It has hope. Hope for what we can become. Hope for what we have to work for. hope for each other. When I first started, hope was all we had. Now in these tumultuous times, we have to fight harder to keep hope alive. But I grew up in the 60s, and it was also tumultuous times. But out of that harrowing time period came voter rights, civil rights legislation, Roe v. Wade, and a variety of other, Title IX for young women, a variety of other things that came out of it. So you don't give up. And everybody in this room, when I look around, I know they have hope for the process. And sometimes it's going to look hard. And sometimes it's going to look difficult. Sometimes it's going to look impossible. But if you depend on each other and you have hope in your strength, and hope in your commitment, and hope in each other, you'll be successful. It's something that you have to work for. Nobody's going to give it to us. When you think about life and what you have to offer, don't channel it to a limit. Give and then give some more. There's no pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. It doesn't exist. But the smile on a person's face and is all you really need to have. People don't give up. Keep hope alive. As Winston Churchill once said, Americans will do the right thing only after they've tried everything else. When it really comes down to it, after everything's all said and done and the years have gone by, it won't matter what kind of house you had, what kind of car you drove, what kind of clothes you wore, but that you made a difference in the lives of a human being. That will last forever. And the last thing I have to say is, this is the last street outreach worker saying out.